Well, following today's press conference, I decided I'd get in touch with one of our MHKs and see what's going on. Champion of the lockdown last time, before becoming an MHK at the by-election, Claire Christian is now joining us on Skype. You've been following this. Obviously, it's very important for the business people what is coming out. Is this just lockdown 2.0? I mean, is it really just following on from last time? Are you noticing differences?
Yes, absolutely. It is following on from last time. Obviously, businesses know what to do this time, which is really great. And I think the essential businesses that are staying open really have just switched back on. They've put in the social distancing immediately. They've worked really hard. I'm talking about the supermarkets across the island and making sure that everybody is safe. And of course, the non-essential retailers and businesses, obviously all closing from midnight tonight. Obviously the most concern is to see what support they're going to get over the next 3 weeks. So the good thing is that basically we don't have to go through what we did last time. We know for a fact that we're going to hit all of the different types of business, the different sectors that we did last time. So we don't have to go through that rigmarole. They're just literally switching it on. If you got support last time, then you will get it this time. So unless your circumstances have changed, obviously you still need to meet the criteria. So it's a really good thing. I know that the Mirror is going to be available for people to apply on tomorrow, on Thursday, online. And then, of course, the salary support will be available to business owners to claim back at the end of this period.
Now, they gave 24 hours notice before telling people to shut down. This is a non-essential. Do you think that was a good idea, or should people be shut down quicker? How do you think it went?
I think it's fast moving, and giving everybody 24 hours was good. I think most businesses who didn't need to be open today didn't open. We didn't open at all today. So I think it was up to the businesses themselves. And then also I think it gave them a bit of time, if you did want to open up today, to get things resolved. I mean, we see a lot in terms of the local companies, different types of businesses. We saw lots of food venues basically saying that we don't do a takeaway service, so come in today and pick up our food, because that was really essential for them to not have any wastage.
I mean, there were pictures after it was announced yesterday of huge queues outside certain supermarkets. I went down today and at 1 o'clock, it was actually seemed to be quite manageable. Do you think people are listening to this advice and not going out and panic buying now?
Yeah, I think so. And we've got to remember that this is hopefully a 3-week period. So we've got to absolutely not panic buy. The supermarkets, we don't have any problems with getting food here or any surplus of anything like that. So it is really important not to panic and just be really thoughtful for people across the island, because not everybody can get out so quickly when it was announced, and lots of people really need to kind of take their time and make sure you're thinking of others, and you don't need, and when I say panic buy, of course, if you want to go and buy things, it's just the quantity, and you don't need to buy as much as you did last time, perhaps during the lockdown. I think I went to the wine cellar instead of going to Tesco's.
I love that. It's been interesting though, hasn't it, that you think lessons have been learned, how to support people? Because last time, as I was trying to say at the beginning, you were outside of government, and now you're inside, but you're still reaching out to people, aren't you, who may have issues?
Yeah, because obviously, it's been a long time since March, and we've obviously, number one, we've got new businesses that have opened up over the summer because the economy was doing really well. So there's actually new types of businesses on the island. So we've got to make sure that we focus on those businesses and give them the support, and new self-employed people, so that they know what to do in these new circumstances for them. But yeah, it's working really well, and we certainly, the business community, they really do support each other, and the DFE is there to. They have a new helpline, which I should give you. You can put this up later on, Paul. But the business support helpline is 648 125. So please call that, and they can give you advice on salary support and Mirror.
Okay, away from that, you were surprised, I think, looking at your news feed about the announcement. Well, they knew at 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve that there was a case, but they didn't actually put it out to the public until 1:45. That sort of thing doesn't seem to be playing well. Would you agree?
I think when you look at the details and the timeline, I think they did the best they could. I know initially when you look at something and you immediately go, well, that's a long time from 10 a.m. to midnight. But I do know that they had a lot of people to contact. And, I spoke to all of the venues that were obviously being spoken to, and they were contacted in the afternoons. In fact, one of them actually said to me, I don't actually answer my phone all the time, so they were really lucky to get hold of me after sort of the third or fourth time. So you just have to really take into account that they really were working as fast as they could, and to get that information out. And it's not an easy situation. They could have waited till the morning. They could have they did get the information out. It could have been any day of the year that it would have happened. It's just unfortunate that it was on New Year's Eve.
But the point surely is, and everyone's agreeing almost, that if they'd made it at 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve morning, people may not have gone out New Year's night. And of course, as it's turned out, this place in Ramsey, this latest outbreak occurred on New Year's Eve. You don't think that was unfortunate?
I can really sympathise with people, and I did point my views across during the briefing that we were living in a world at that time which was quite concerning. We'd just gone to a 21-day. You weren't allowed to do 1 hour's exercise, and people were concerned because if you weren't allowed to walk past someone with a face mask on, in a quarantine situation, how could that be different from a nightclub on New Year's Eve? And I understand, but we obviously the government took advice from the medical directors, etc., and it was low risk, and that's what the assumptions that they made. But I do understand, and I can empathise that and with people and the concern and why they felt that it was more of a higher risk than it actually was. But obviously, the other cases that have transpired, they are higher risk, and that's why we've gone into this lockdown or this circuit breaker now.
And finally, you've been going to the special briefings that the MHKs and MLCs have had. Are you happy with what you're hearing?
Yes, absolutely. We had a very good briefing yesterday. It was a virtual one before the press briefing, and it was very informative. One of the things that I requested was that they use the MHKs to reach a wider audience for queries and questions to try, because we all have a reach of more than 5,000 people, and we obviously have a constituency to look after. So it's really great that we're getting this information, and it's really key for us to be able to feed that back to our constituents and make sure they're safe and they understand what to do, so that the new regulations aren't breached, because it has come in quite fast.